All right, let's talk about something that's popping up everywhere. There's this new role, this new idea floating around the workplace, the AI Orchestrator. Sounds kind of fancy, right? Maybe a little intimidating. But what is it really? And more importantly, what's it got to do with you and your next promotion?
Yeah, I get it. The moment you hear managing a team of AI agents, your mind probably goes to some pretty wild places. I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a movie, doesn't it? You're picturing yourself arguing with a chatbot about its quarterly performance.
So, is this it? Is this where we're all headed? Becoming some kind of cyborg middle manager trying to herd a bunch of digital cats? It feels a little off, a little dystopian even. But hold on, just take a breath. Because what we're actually talking about here isn't a demotion to robot supervisor, it's an evolution. Think of it like getting a new kind of superpower, one that lets you multiply your output, your value, and your strategic importance. This isn't a threat to your job. It's a massive opportunity. So to really wrap our heads around this, we've got to bust some myths first. Honestly, the term managing AI is kind of terrible. It's confusing. So let's clear the air and talk about what this really means. Okay, first things first. An AI agent is not a walking, talking robot sitting in the cubicle next to you, at least not yet. Right now, it's much simpler. Just think of it as a specialized tool, a system that's been set up to do one specific task over and over again without you having to hold its hand. And here are some perfect real-world examples. These things are already all around us. They're sorting your inbox, handling support tickets, crunching numbers for sales reports. You see the pattern here, right? In every single one of these, the AI is doing the boring, repetitive heavy lifting, and a human, you, provides the oversight, the context, and the final call. That's the entire game right there. And this brings us to the biggest mindset shift of all. This is about changing how you see your role at work. It's a move from being the person who does all the tasks to being the person who directs the systems that do the tasks. Now this really spells it out. In a typical job, you might spend, say, 80% of your day just doing stuff, executing tasks. As an orchestrator, that completely flips on its head. You spend maybe 20% of your time setting up and directing the AI, and the other 80% on the stuff that really matters: strategy, creative thinking, making tough calls. Your limit is no longer the number of hours in the day. The only bottleneck is the quality of your judgment. So let's be super clear. This is not about getting rid of managers or data analysts. It's about making them way more powerful. The manager now directs automated workflows, freeing them up to focus on people and strategy. The analyst spends way less time cleaning data and way more time actually finding the story in the data. Your strategic value just goes through the roof. Okay, so this all sounds great, but how do you actually get there? Well, it boils down to 5 core skills. And the best part? These are things anyone can learn. You do not need a PhD in computer science. You just have to start thinking a little bit differently. Skill number 1, systems thinking. This just means instead of seeing a single task, you see the whole process. Take this customer support example. The old way is all human, every step. The new way, the orchestrator's way, breaks it down. You ask, okay, what part of this is just repetitive grunt work? And where do I need a human brain? You automate the grunt work and put a person right at that critical decision point. Second, you need tools literacy. Look, you don't have to be a coder, but you do need to know what's in the toolbox. It's like being a carpenter. You need to know when to use a hammer versus a screwdriver. You got to know that ChatGPT is great for a quick draft, but maybe Claude is better for analyzing a huge document. It's about knowing the options so you can pick the right tool for the job. Skill number 3 is verification. And this one is absolutely critical because AIs mess up all the time. Your job is to be the quality control, but you can't check every single thing. That defeats the whole purpose of automation. So you develop a rule of thumb. Is this a high-stakes legal document? You better believe you're checking every word. Is it a rough first draft of an internal note? A quick scan is probably fine. You match your level of effort to the level of risk. And that flows right into skill number 4, judgment. This is the one thing a machine just can't do. An AI might spit out a customer service email that is technically perfect, but you know that this specific customer had a problem yesterday. So sending that generic, cheerful email is going to feel totally tone deaf. Your judgment, your human context, lets you step in, tweak it, and save that relationship. And finally, number 5, continuous improvement. The first system you build is not going to be perfect.
it'll probably be just okay. Your job is to launch it, see where it stumbles, get feedback, and then go back and make it better. It's basically the scientific method for your own work. You're always tweaking, always iterating, always making the system smarter and more efficient. So, you put in the work, you develop these 5 skills. What's the reward? Why bother? Well, the payoff is absolutely huge for you and for your company. We're not talking about a little 10 or 20% bump in productivity. We are talking about a potential tenfold increase in your output and your impact. Just think about that for a second. You're not working 10 times harder. You're creating 10 times more value because you're not just using your own 2 hands anymore. You're directing a whole team of intelligent systems. This chart basically makes the business case for your next raise. A company might see a traditional employee as generating, say, $100,000 in value, but an AI orchestrator, someone who can manage systems that produce enormous output, they could be generating $500,000 in value, or even more. That is why these skills lead to better jobs and better pay. You're creating way more economic value. It's really that simple. And now for the flip side, the uncomfortable truth. Look, this isn't meant to be a threat. It's just an honest look at where the economy is headed. If you don't adapt and learn how to do this, the parts of your job that are routine, well, routine work is what gets automated first. The people who learn to leverage AI are going to see their careers and their influence grow, while everyone else risks getting left behind. But here is the really great news. You can start becoming an orchestrator right now, today. You don't need to ask for permission. And it starts with a really simple exercise. Just pick one process you do all the time, something you know inside and out. Get a piece of paper and map out every single step. Then go back through and mark each step. Is this just repetitive work, or does this require my actual brain, my judgment? And then just ask that simple question. That act of breaking it down, that is the first step to thinking like a systems designer. Because that's what this is all about. It's not about waiting for your boss to give you a new title. It's about a shift in your own mind that you can make this afternoon. Stop thinking of yourself as just the person who does the work. Start thinking of yourself as the person who designs the system that does the work. And that really leaves us with one final question. This change is coming. It's not an if, it's a when. The only real choice we have is how we're going to respond. So are you going to be the one leading this transition, or are you going to be the one being led by it?